is complicated. It can either be full of love and happiness with the right lover, or life can take everything that you made happy and chuck harsh reality right in the middle of it. Just as we highlighted the most romantic couples in anime last year, we have here the relationships that faced messed up forms of tragedy that practically brought the relationship to a sad end. The main criteria on this list is basically leveling how harsh and cruel their tragic circumstances are. Reviewing couples that were in love and seemed happy with their lives suddenly meeting an end with tragedy. I'm sure the title explains itself, but we do have a lot of couples who faced some pretty messed up tragedies that ruined their lives. It wasn't easy to make this list, but we did our best. So here we go. Top 10 most tragic romances in anime. Number 10. Spike and Julia from Cowboy Bebop. So I've talked about the ending to this show and this couple a lot, so I'll keep this brief. To those who haven't seen top 10 perfect endings of anime and top 10 most romantic couples in anime, Spike and Julia are one of the most iconic couples with an amazing relationship that sadly ended in tragedy. When they met, Julia was dating Spike's best friend Vicious at the time. They fell in love and saw each other in secret, but everything went wrong once Vicious found out. With Julia's disappearance and Spike on the run as a bounty hunter, it seemed our star-crossed lovers would never see each other ever again, until we get close to the series finale. Julia has been ordered to kill Spike or else they both die. Not willing to kill her lover, the two swore to run away together and find a peaceful life somewhere away from Vicious. In the blink of an eye, their ultimate dream was torn away and Julia dies in her lover's arms. Of all the tragic romances in anime, the first one that comes to everyone's mind is Spike and Julia. Yes, we mentioned them in top 10 most romantic couples of anime, but with how their desire to be together ended in a flash, we can't help but cry when we think of what could have been. Number 9. Dark Schneider and Arshes from Bastard. Dark Schneider is an immortal wizard who found a little elven girl lost and alone in the world. He took it upon himself to raise her, but as she grew into a woman, the two of them instantly fell in love. For 100 years, their love stayed strong as they would protect each other and live their lives together. They were happy and content with their lives, until Dark Schneider was sealed away into the body of a young boy, never to be seen for a very long time. Not knowing if he'll ever come back, Arshes joined a group to try and move on with her life. That is until she heard he had awakened many years later. Thinking that she would leave them and return to her love, her troop leader placed an awful curse on her. Her fingernail had a ticking curse that would turn her into a toad for all of eternity. The only thing that could stop the curse is the blood from Dark Schneider's heart. So the day our torn apart lovers met, she made it clear that she was going to kill him. In the end, Arshes couldn't bring herself to kill her old lover, but when the curse was getting worse, Dark took it upon himself to save her by ripping out his own heart and dripping the blood on her fingernail. You heard me right. He couldn't stand there and watch his old love be turned into a toad, so he rips out his heart to save her. Damn! Yes, he's immortal and he does come back to life later, but we didn't know that at the time. We were so shocked over his sacrifice to save her that we were awestruck. The real sad thing about this scenario is Dark's relationship with Arshes and Yoko. Dark was a feared immortal who was sealed away into the soul of a young boy. Though Dark is mostly dominant over his new body and host, the boy's feelings for Yoko fused with Dark, causing him to have feelings for Yoko. Although Arshes and Dark were strong lovers in the past, their love could never be the same because of that one fateful day. Number 8. Ginko and Kureha from Yurikuma. As strange and risque the anime is, Yurikuma brought us an incredible couple that rose above tragedy. As children, they were best friends even though one was human and one was a bear. Wanting Ginko to be happy with her, Kureha makes a wish to turn Ginko into a human so that they can live happily ever after with each other. The judges want to test and see if their love is true, so they instead erase Kureha's memories, now making her afraid of bears, including Ginko. Ginko was put back into her world to be safe, but she was determined to go back and find her love once again. Since Kureha's mother was killed by a bear shortly after her and Ginko departed, Kureha put it upon herself to kill all the bears that endanger her world. As hard as she tries though, Kureha is considered to be an outcast and is to be ignored by everyone in the school community so that the bears would attack her instead of them. Classic purging here! Kureha was persistent and continued her efforts to fight bears even when she was outcasted, but then there's these two girls who come along out of nowhere and want to be by her side. One of them with an oddly familiar name, Ginko. Ginko and her friend Lulu risk everything to sneak into the human world disguised as humans just so Ginko could try and reach her old friend. Kureha didn't like her and wanted nothing to do with her, but always felt that there was something to this girl. In the very end, when the entire school is out to kill Ginko for being a bear, Kureha breaks through the odds and remembers her past. This time, instead of wishing from the goddess to turn Ginko into a human, she proves her love by turning herself into a bear. Her transformation proved that she learned what true love is about, and that she was willing to risk everything just to be with Ginko, as she did for her. However, the world of humans wasn't ready to accept this revolutionary occurrence, so they made the judgment call to fire at our reunited couple. Whether you believe they die in the end and go to heaven, or left through the bullets to climb the stairway to paradise, it's quite clear how our passionate couple's relationship is quite tragic. Not only because of everything they went through just to prove how much they love each other, but mostly because their love could never be accepted in any of their worlds. Number 7. 12 and Lisa from Terror in Residence. Lisa and 12 were a couple whose tragedy was already swallowed amongst already dire circumstances. Like any other relationship, the meeting happened by chance, a simple act of passing through on 12's part. But the moment Lisa learned too much, she faced with much adversary as 12 began to just toying with Lisa and making sure she didn't talk. All 9 and 12 wanted was for society to learn the truth of what happened to them, and 12 had no other desires to turn back until their comrades were avenged. But over time, his toying with Lisa became personal interest as he takes detours in their master plan of vengeance to live in the present and spend some time with Lisa. Lisa finds comfort in 12, seeing that her broken life could have someone to confide in and sense of normality. Even if that normality is swallowed in the destructive situation as a terrorist operation, while 12 starts seeing a possibility in normality, also in finding someone he can watch over and later cherish. These are two people who are both hurt in their lives in different ways, yet come together and support each other. But then once Lisa is kidnapped and put in a life or death situation, she still tells 12 to leave her behind and to see through with 9. This turmoil, which causes 12 to panic, even more to the point where he almost drops the plan entirely to abandon 9, telling 5 their secrets in exchange for Lisa's safety and run away with her. But in the end, he didn't. He goes back to 9, finish what they started before the three of them meet up at the planned location, waiting to be captured by their guided investigator to eventually get their story out. If it wasn't tragic enough that 12 knew he couldn't be together with Lisa, stating her involvement as only a hostage to save her, he was sniped, shot through the head right in front of her by American forces to cover up any more involvement that could potentially go public. True, the players behind all of this were put into light and Lisa was able to go home, but the lingering feeling of both never being able to be with 12 or saying goodbye, let alone tell her side of the story to why they did all this, makes this all more heart-wrenching. It's tragic because it ended with a planned goodbye that didn't go as planned. It's tragic because it gave a bittersweet end to the story they wanted to shed a light to, and it's bittersweet to Lisa, who started this anime alone and now ends it alone, as she is heading to the makeshift gravesite of all the numbered test subjects to honor their deaths with flowers, with only the memories of the small time she had together with 12. Number 6. White and Leo from Blood Blockade Battlefront. Not together all too long, but their short little fling in the place Crazier Than Crazy was one hell of a ride. As parallels to each other, both loving photography, they were perfect. However, when White joked to Leo that she was a ghost, she wasn't kidding. White, Mary Macbeth, had truly died, and the great collapse that caused Hell Salem's Lot to form was made a living barrier and watched her twin brother Black become possessed by the King of Despair, while Leo gained the all-seeing eyes of God when his sister Michaela gave up her eyes for him. When the King of Despair forces White to betray Leo so she could keep Black safe, Leo doesn't hate her. Sure, he gives up for a bit, but when Calamity smacks you with a pimp cane, you get shit done. In the end, it's Leo's cries through the destroyed street to never give up that gives White the strength to overcome her guilt and, along with her twin, repair the barrier. However, it's too much, and she must truly pass on and leave Leo in the form of a butterfly. In the end, he bawls as the one person who knew them both, while remarks on the not-so-shiny knight who fell in love with a ghost.
Are you watching this, White? Your knight may be a little frazzled right now, but he is still awfully cool.
Number 5. Millie and Wolfwood from Trigun. Just when things were looking promising for our funny couple, everything turned south with one of the most tragic moments in anime. Millie is an insurance girl hunting down Vash Stampede with her friend Meryl. Wolfwood is a priest mostly, but by trade he's a deadly mercenary. Once they met, our adorable pair became a perfect match in heaven. Sadly, reality had to butt its ugly head in, with Wolfwood's boss ordering him to kill Vash and complete his duties. Wolfwood struggled with the choice of following his orders or risk being killed for treason. Millie was there to comfort him and see if there was anything she could do. Oh, there's something you could definitely do, Millie. Remember this scene, kids? In the end, Wolfwood makes the ultimate decision to face up against his superior and kill him before he gets to Vash. He succeeds at taking him down, but it sadly ends up costing his life. This scene is just heartbreaking to watch, since he's screaming to the heavens, "No, I'm not ready to die. There is so much I have to do here. I want to stay." After his cry, Wolfwood passes away, and we are shown to a devastatingly heartbroken Millie in the next scene. Left behind with his cross, Millie continues the series with her hopeful smile, but behaving more like a widow than her usual self. Also, she may be pregnant with his kid. Keyword maybe. Number 4. Kaori and Kosei from Your Lie in April. This series has to be one of the most beautiful shows we've ever seen in anime, while also being one of the saddest ones we've seen in a while. Due to a traumatic experience in his past, Kosei can no longer hear the keys he plays on the piano. His monotone and quiet world turns upside down when he meets Kaori for the first time. She's beautiful, spunky, talented, lively, and practically amused to Kosei. Even though he had all these feelings for her, he felt he could never get close since she was dating his friend. As time rolled on, Kaori convinces Kosei to get back into music so she could hear him play and so they could play together. This does inspire Kosei to face his past and embrace music once again. But fate had another tragedy for Kosei to face. The lovely Kaori, his muse and inspiration, takes a turn for the worst as she was diagnosed with an illness, slowly weakening her body. Her ambitions and will to play with Kosei came crumbling down the weaker she got. No matter how bleak it seemed, Kosei stayed by Kaori's side, hoping they could once again play together. Not wanting to give up, Kaori wishes to undergo one more surgery, hoping it'll save her life and give her more time to play with Kosei. During the surgery, Kosei is due to perform at a recital. While he starts to struggle, praying that Kaori will be fine, an image of Kaori rises to calm Kosei. Together, our musical couple play another beautiful duet together, as they did in the past. But towards the end of the song, Kosei realizes this is Kaori's way of saying goodbye. Kaori lost her fight to her illness and sadly passes away. He attends her funeral and is given a letter by Kaori from her parents. The letter turns out to be a confession of how Kosei was her inspiration. How after she saw him perform as a child, she was inspired to play the violin. When she found out that she was dying, she transformed herself from a timid girl to a wild child full of life and music, playing scores the way she wants to play them and reaching out to her inspiration, Kosei. All this time, Kosei was not only her inspiration, but also her crush. Kaori confesses that she was in love with Kosei this whole time. Okay, you guys still have your tissue boxes and ice creams, right? I'm not paying for that bill again. Although he can try to carry on with the hope and love she gave him, it still hurts to know of what could have been. Number 3. Name one couple in Fushigi Yugi that did not have a tragic... Okay, name 2. And... maybe. I guess they had a thing. But besides those 2, the majority of romantic relationships in Fushigi Yugi ended in tragedy. Takiko and Uruki, Suzuno and Tatara, Hotohori and Hoki, and even Nakako and Soi. Yes, there were a lot of tragic relationships in the series, but one couple out of all of them takes the spot at number 3. Mitsukake and Shouka from Fushigi Yugi. Mitsukake was a medicine man who fell in love with his sweetheart Shouka. Since he was the best at his job, he was sent all over the country to heal various sick patients. As long as he got to them in time, he could save every patient from any illness. Suddenly, he received word that his wife was stricken with the plague and was yearning for Mitsukake to return home. He tried to rush home as fast as he could, begging Shouka to hold on. But by the time he got to his house, Shouka had died shortly before he ran through those doors. Grief-stricken in regret, he gives up his practice and becomes a lonely hermit away from society. Miyaka and the gang arrive at his village to find the next celestial warrior, but suddenly Miyaka is hit with the plague. A healer in that village claims she can revive her if she dies, but the gang is a little skeptical of this miraculous reanimation. Desperate to save her, they find Mitsukake and beg him to heal Miyaka before she dies. Mitsukake refuses to help, but once he hears of the healer's name, he suddenly changes his mind. The healer who swore she could bring Miyaka back to life was Mitsukake's departed lover, Shouka, possessed by a plague demon. By bringing dead patients back to life, she's only turning them into an army of zombies ready to attack the gang when they arrive to save her. The situation escalated to life-threatening danger when Mitsukake arrived to save everyone. At first, Shouka was disgusted seeing him, since he never came home to save her, but with Miyaka reminding her of what they once had and the love she had for him, Shouka returns to her state of mind and tells them how to defeat the plague demon. Mitsukake's powers could do the trick easily, but this will result in Shouka dying once again. Wait, in order to save her soul and save our heroes, he has to kill his wife and watch her die again? That's fucked up. That is so fucked up. Mitsukake has to make the ultimate decision, however, as he puts his wife to rest. She is in peace at last, and they were able to say goodbye. But to see these two lovers suffer through this strange ordeal truly is tragic. Also, if you count Ei Koden, even after they're reincarnated together, he almost had to watch her die for the 3rd time. Give this man a break! Number 2. I'll say this. This tragic romance almost made it to number 1. It could still be considered number 1 if we wanted to, but we felt number 1's case was just a teeny bit more messed up compared to this one. Still, it was a hard decision for us to make since this scenario is beyond tragic. Hatori and Kana from Fruits Basket. Being a part of the Soma family can't be easy due to their very unusual circumstances. They can't really have normal lives or relationships without worrying about their zodiac transformations. In Hatori's case, he almost found a way out. Kana was his dream. She loved and accepted him even after finding out about his dragon seahorse transformation. They were going to live their lives in happiness and be married as long as he had permission. Yeah, about that.
No! I won't allow it! I refuse to allow it! You did this! This is your fault! If Hatori loses his sight, it's your fault! It's your fault!
Well, that escalated quickly. What you just saw there was Akito's sadistic tactic to get rid of Kana. Not only did she attack Hatori, thus scarring his eye, but she psychologically damaged Kana by blaming Hatori's pain and suffering on her. Everything that Hatori is going through, all the pain he will endure, will be all her fault. And she believes it. Akito's horrific plan worked as Kana slipped into self-torture and depression, thinking everything is her fault. Hatori couldn't bear to see her suffer like this, so he uses his power to erase her memory. Before he's able to do it though, she reaches out to him and says,
I'm so sorry. I wasn't able to protect you. Forgive me.
Ow! That hurt! Ow! That hurt! That hurt! Ow! That just made things worse. Now that she's free from Akito's grasp, Kana can blissfully live her life and get married, never remembering who Hatori is. Although she can live her life in peace, Hatori will always watch from afar and dream of what could have been. Before we continue, here are a lot of honorable mentions. #1 most tragic romance in anime is... Like I said earlier, this could have been #2 as Fruits Baskets could have been #1. It was a tough call as both scenarios are really messed up. But when it came right down to it, we ultimately had to view the result of each tragedy. As #2 ended sadly with a painful resolution, #1 never ended. Allow me to explain. Haruo and Ayumi from Magikano. Yes, this was extremely hard for us to choose since this show is a harem comedy. But remember, this ended up in our list of top 10 what the fuck endings in anime for tragic reasons. Throughout the series, Ayumi attempts to get close to Haruo so he could break the curse casted upon her. In order for her to get her powers back, she tries to awaken Haruo's powers, but is easily foiled by his overprotective sisters. Although it seems she's only trying to get close to Haruo just to get her powers back, she does grow feelings for Haruo and wants to form a relationship. But everything goes to hell when Haruo is kidnapped by Michiru. She then extracts his powers to increase her own, only to awaken the demonic powers that lay dormant in Haruo. Now that he is fully awakened, he can easily take over the world, and there is nothing anyone can do to stop him. Hongo reveals that Haruo is an avatar for the Demon King, and the only way to stop him is to reverse time with everyone's help. Once everyone joined their powers, Ayumi reaches out to Haruo, gives him a passionate kiss, confesses her feelings, and time reverses to the point where Ayumi met Haruo for the first time. Everything that happened, every build-up and relationship made, every attempt to awaken his powers and protect him is to be repeated all over again with no recollection of what just happened. No one remembers anything from the incident. Time reversed and everything seems peaceful, but these poor characters have to repeat everything over and over again. If they can't remember Michiru's selfish attempt to steal Haruo's powers for her own, then this will repeat over and over and over again. There's no hope for this couple. Ayumi will meet Haruo, try to get her powers back, fall in love with him, and watch her dreams and homeworld come crumbling down, and there is nothing she can do about that. This tragedy will repeat over and over again, and our couple will never ever be together. Possibly for all of eternity. This was a pretty difficult list to make since a lot of these couples suffered greatly one way or another. It wasn't easy to keep it to 10, or even lay out who suffered the most, but we wouldn't have come up with these suggestions without your help. If any of you want to help us in the future, be sure to like us on Facebook and contribute to our list. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned to Anime America. Want to support the production? Check out our brand new store on Store Envy. For a small price, you can have a one-of-a-kind poster made by yours truly. If you can only give a small amount to help us out, check out our Patreon page. Any amount you wish to give us goes towards our production needs, so anything you can give us helps us a lot. To keep up with the latest in Anime America stuff, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even Tumblr. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe to Anime America for more awesome reviews and top 10 lists. If you're interested in anything of pop culture, be sure to subscribe to Pop Spectrum. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned to Anime America.